All right. Good morning, everybody. This will be the last of my traveling to Utah vlog updates. And if you couldn't guess, that means I have made it. I've made it safely and sound to St. George. Technically, we're not in St. George, but we're in the St. George area. But I'm at the place I'm staying right now, so I've made it safe and sound. But to fill you in on what happened last, so I know I was in Arizona going to Las Vegas last time I did an update. I would have taken a more direct route, but it was going to be like snowing really bad in that area, and it was like, steeper terrain. So I was like, that's just not a good idea, especially in my car, my little car that I've got. So I took a detour to go through Las Vegas because it's warmer there, and then go up to St. George. Which unfortunately St. George is getting snow too, but not at that time. And I'm gonna explain that here in a second, that whole story. But yeah, so I like go through to Las Vegas. You like hit this one, you like go through like these mountains, and it's like it was really cool. And then you like, they're like, I don't know how to describe them, but I felt like I was in like Lord of the Rings, like I don't know, in like Rohan or something. And going through these mountains, and then you come out and you like see this big like vast like section of just like, it looks like Mordor off in the distance. It's really funny. It was like I'm in Rohan, and then I like see Mordor off in the distance. That's what it felt like. You can clearly see there's like desert. There's just like nothing out there. And then there's like mountains past that. But then there's this city. Like when you're on the road, like the direction I was coming, you could see this like off to the right, the Mordor, and then out to the left, further out. Like it's more direct. Like, but there's a larger city, and you go through that, and then you take it like go through another like very small section of mountains. And then you're just like complete like desert like area. And then you take this really long road forever. I didn't even know this like was a real saying, but there's these gas stations called last stops. They're literally called last stop for a reason. Because the next section of like road, you're gonna be on for like 45 minutes. Like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Maybe it was even closer to an hour. I don't even remember. It might have been like an hour. But you're just like driving on this, and there's nothing along the way. There's no gas station or anything like that. So that's why the gas station that you have to stop at is called last stop, which I didn't even realize that until after I drove by it. But luckily I had like pretty much full tank, and it was after I drove by it I was like, oh, that's probably called last stop because it's like the last place to get gas. And I didn't realize that until I was like going. I was like, oh, there's like nothing here. And I looked at the map and I was like, there's no towns ahead. So I was like, oh, that's why it's called last stop. So I thought that was really cool. I didn't realize that was a saying. I thought that was kind of cool. But then you're like driving to like these mountains. It's not like steep at all. It was really cool actually, but it was like starting to rain. It was like very cloudy, and you didn't really capture the beauty of it as much. And that would have been a great place to film too as my GoPro, but again, it was just like raining, so I was just like, nah. But that was really cool, that area. I was thinking the whole time, I was like, what if you did like break down in here? Like you're like, sure, you should know to get gas before you go through there, but like what if you just broke down? Like your car just stopped working for whatever reason. Like what do you do? I guess you could, call like a roadside service or something, but like it's gonna take them forever to get to you. So I was like, wow, that would really suck. I actually drove by one semi at some point that had like their hazards lights on. They're going like 50 miles an hour, like in the middle of it too. And I was like, oh no, that guy's about to have a bad day potentially. He might get stuck. But yeah, you just go through like these mountains for like literally like an hour. It was crazy. And they're not like gigantic because it's not like steep, but yeah, you go through like, sorry. You like go through like these mountains for a long time. And then you literally right as soon as you come out, you're in Las Vegas. Like immediately as soon as you come out, you're in Las Vegas. And it's like, whoa. And that place is huge. Like I've been there because I have family member that lives there, but it's like, it's literally gigantic. Like I don't remember being that big. Like it took me, I might be exaggerating when I say this, but this is what it felt like. But I want to say it took me like just to get through like the middle of it, like or get to like the city. I want to say it took like a half an hour just driving through it, like a half an hour just to get through it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just driving forever. And of course the time of day was like when people were getting off work. So it was like, wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like Indiana traffic, like Indiana rush hour traffic, but it was very busy to say the least. It was like so annoying. I was like, man, I got here at the worst time. And then basically, so like it was still kind of like light out at that time, clearly going evening. By the time I got through Las Vegas, then it was now dark. And then you do another hour and a half to St. George, and it was It's I forgot to mention this, but like in the mountains it was really annoying because like the last stop area, that section of road where you're just driving forever, it got really annoying. And I don't know if the mountains had something to do with this or what, but it would like rain on and off like the whole time because there was this big storm coming. I don't know if I've talked about that. There's literally this huge storm going through like Nevada, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, like all those states. It's like going through that whole area. I mean, it's probably going across the whole country, the storm, but it was at that time I was going through that whole area out west, and but like so like in Nevada it's like so warm that it's not gonna go to snow. It's not gonna turn to snow. I mean, it could get cold enough to turn to snow, but rarely because it's such a warm area. But anyways, going through like those mountains, it was like it'd start raining like really hard, and then it'd slow down, and then it'd stop for like a minute, and then it'd go back really hard, and it just kept doing it the whole time. It was so annoying because my like wipers. It was so annoying because I like would keep readjusting with my wipers, and then like if it stops, then like my wiper will like maybe I just need to replace my wipers, but they'd start. I thought I got them replaced recently, but they'd like brush against the window and go, and it's like, oh my gosh, because the water would stop. It would stop raining. It was just so annoying, like adjusting the wipers the whole time. It was such a pain. I thought that was interesting though, how the rain just did that randomly. I think it has something to do with the mountains. You know, like you're going up and down elevation. I want to say it had something to do with that, but maybe it was just the weather was weird as I was moving through the area, and I was like kind of coming into the storm and then out of the storm. I don't really know, but it was really interesting. But yeah, anyway, so now back to where I was. Fast forward again. So now I'm going to St. George, and it's like dark out now, and I'm checking the weather, and like there's like it's gonna be like snowing apparently in St. George at like 8 o'clock, and it was probably like 6:30, maybe 7. I don't think it's quite 7 yet, but I basically had like an hour and a half to get there, and it was gonna start basically like in an hour to hour and a half. So I'm like in a race against time here, because like if I get caught in the snow, like my car's like screwed. Like my car is absolutely terrible in the snow, and it's like I don't want to get like because I will like slip, you know, like big time. And I'm like, I do not want to get stranded either though. Just on the way to St. George, you know. Which realistically I could have stopped at my family member's place, my relative's place in Las Vegas, but I was like, I'm so close, I might as well just finish it out, you know. I just want to get there really badly and just not have to do another day. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm doing it. So, and it's like pouring down rain the whole time, and it's just like, and I don't see anything. Like I still have no clue what that drive looks like. I know I'll end up doing that drive quite a few times in the future, going to Las Vegas, but just to see my aunt, and then Red Rocks is, or just to see my family member, just to see my relative, and then Red Rocks is there. I'm sure at some point I'll just go in Las Vegas too. I don't really care. I'm not like a person that likes to engage in gambling or going to strip clubs or anything like that. I don't really do that stuff, but I know for a fact I'll just go to Las Vegas because there's other stuff to do too, you know, for fun. So I'll be back at some point. But yeah, so I'm going down this road, and it's like just straight. You're just going straight for like ever, and I don't see anything on the side. I mean, you're like everyone's going like 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour. I think a lot of people are going faster too, because they're like trying to beat the storm, so they're trying to get to their destination before the storm, before it turns to snow. So I'm on this forever, and then eventually you get this point where you actually go through mountains again. And this point was like pouring down right, and I'm like maybe like 30 minutes away, and like it was honestly kind of scary because it was like pitch black. There's no lights. The only lights around you are like those of the cars, and you could tell you're going through like mountains here, like through like because like the speed, like it's like goes up and then down, and then there's like these sharp turns everywhere. Like it's like it goes from like 75 miles an hour down to like 55, and then jumps back up. So like the speed's like changing like crazy, like the speed limit, and then everyone's just like flying because they're just trying to get home, and they know these roads, I'm sure. I don't like know this, so like because I haven't been through it, and so it's a little bit like it's very intimidating. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this turns to snow, and I'm in these like this mountain pass, like it could be really bad. You know, I was like keeping myself together, but I was like getting a little bit freaked out, just because like I could tell like people were intentionally going like fast. I believe because they're trying to. I believe they were trying to get back home for this before the storm, so they're like going like super fast. I was like, oh my gosh, this could be bad. But I made it through there, and then I'm like outside St. George, and then like I can tell it's kind of starting to turn to a mix, like a wintry mix, and I'm maybe like 10 minutes out, and then I get to, you know, like eventually get to St. George, and I'm like, it sucks because like I still haven't really even seen the city because I got there at night, and I've only now just like kind of seen where I'm staying at, and then the area around it. But so I still don't really know like what St. George looks like or like much of the surrounding area other than like pictures. But then it was funny because like literally when I was like maybe like 2 minutes from the place I'm staying at, it turned into snow. It literally then turned to snow, and I was like, I made it just in time. So that was kind of scary, honestly. That whole drive, like that from Las Vegas up here, that was a little bit scary, just because I didn't know what the weather was gonna do. So I was like hoping it would stay warm enough the whole time to and not turn to that. It's crazy because like this is like technically like desert, this area. So, I mean, it doesn't get snow very often. Like the one time going through, there's like this storm. So, but I've made it safely and sound. I met up with my friend, obviously. So I'm packing right now. I barely unpacked anything last night. I only like I just grabbed like a pillow and a blanket and like ran in, just like passed out. Talked with my friend for a bit, and then passed out. But I'm out here right now in the morning. It's like 9 right now, and I'm just unpacking stuff for my car, and now I'm reminiscing on my trip. But man, that was, aside from moving to Utah, like just that trip alone, just going across like all those states was like so cool. Like that was just like so fun in itself. Like I never got bored the entire time. It was crazy. I don't even understand how. Like I did like 24 hours of driving. I never got bored. I want to say never, but like there's very few moments where I was like actually like bored. Like I didn't listen to any podcasts. I had like a ton of podcasts planned to listen to. I like barely listened to any music. I only talked to people on the phone a handful of times. Like it was pretty crazy just considering, like I was just so entertained by the scenery like the whole time. And I mean, I like to think a lot too. So a lot of time I was just, thinking about stuff too, but at some point, you run out of stuff to think about. So I was just like so engaged with just the scenery. It was so interesting to me. 'Cause I've never, done something like that before, or seen anything like that before. It was just so cool. Like it's so vast, just the landscape when you get out of the Midwest. Like you can just see so far everywhere. And then just like the terrain changes, the climate changes, it's crazy. I think it was just so fun. So, but I've made it now. I'm glad I'm here safely. I've got a ton of footage to like go through and edit. I know I never used my GoPro stand. It's actually still on top of my car. Still sturdy. I should have used it. I just didn't really know when to pull my GoPro out and start filming. And I was still like very hesitant to do it. Was like the weather and whatnot, was like the rain. That's all right. I still have like tons of opportunities to use in the future. So, and now I know the stand works. Yeah, but I have like ton of stuff to go through now, so that kind of sucks. But I'm here and I'm super excited. I'm so excited to like be here. I'm just like, this is so cool. This is like the best decision I've ever made in my life. Maybe like 2 months from now I'll be like, this sucks. I should have never done this. But right now I'm like, this is the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Coming out here. But yeah, that's the last update for this video. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be doing tons of climbing. I'm sure I'll like do other stuff too beyond that. I mean, it's a climbing trip, what it's supposed to be, but I'll do other stuff while I'm here. Maybe I'll get 4 Mormon wives. I'm just kidding. I'm probably not gonna do that. I'm not Mormon. I'm not like hating on Mormons either, but no disrespect there, but I'm just making a joke. But yeah, so I'm here in Utah now, St. George area, and probably the next time you see me, I'll probably be climbing on some Utah sandstone. Look forward to that. So thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.